Hello students, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to see the NCERT question and answers from the chapter Geographical Diversity of India. I will explain each answer in a very simple way so that you can easily write them in your exams. Question number 1. What, in your opinion, are two important geographical features of India? Why do you think they are important? So, you need to choose two important geographical features of India and explain why they are important. A geographical feature can be a mountain, river, desert, plateau or coast. You need to think about how these features affect people's lives, their environment and civilization. Answer: two important geographical features of India. First one is Himalayas. Its importance is they are the highest mountains in the world and act as a natural barrier protecting India from invasions. They are the source of many rivers like the Ganga and Brahmaputra, which provide water for drinking, farming and electricity. Second is the northern plains. They have fertile soil which supports farming. They also support dense population, settlements and trade and contribute to India's economy. Next question. What do you think India might have looked like if the Himalayas did not exist? Write a short note or sketch a drawing to express your imagination. So, you need to imagine in India without the Himalayas. Himalayas are the tallest mountains in the world and play a very important role in India's climate, rivers and protection. You have to think about how life, rivers and climate might be different if these mountains were not there. You can either write a short note or draw a simple sketch to show your imagination. You can write the answer like, if the Himalayas did not exist, northern India would have no natural protection from the north, making it easier for invasions. Many rivers like the Ganga and Brahmaputra would not have formed properly, so there would be less water for farming and settlements. The climate in northern India would be very different. Winters would be much colder and summers hotter. Monsoon rains might be weaker or irregular, affecting farming and water availability. Overall, India would have been less fertile, less protected, and the lives of people, farming and settlements would have been very different. Third question. India has been called a mini continent. Based on what you have read, why do you think this is so? Now think about what a continent is. A continent is a very large land mass with different types of landforms, climates and ecosystems. India is not as big as a continent, but it has mountains, deserts, plains, plateaus, rivers, all in one country. So, you need to explain how these diverse features make India like a small version of a continent. You can write the answer like, India is called a mini continent because it has many different geographical features in one country. Snowy mountains in the north, that is Himalayas, deserts in the west, Thar Desert, fertile plains watered by rivers, Peninsula Plateau in the south, coast, islands, forest and wildlife. These diverse features exist together in one country, which is why India is like a small continent. Fourth question. Follow one of India's big rivers from where it starts to where it meets the ocean. What are the different ways in which people might utilize this river along its journey? Discuss in groups in your class. So here you need to imagine the river starting from the mountains, flowing through the plains and finally reaching the sea or ocean. At different places along its course, people use the river in different ways depending on the land, climate and local needs. Let's take the Ganga river as an example, from its origin in the Himalayas to where it meets the Bay of Bengal. In the mountains, people use the river for drinking water, small-scale fishing and hydroelectric power. In the plains, the river provides water for irrigation, helping farmers grow crops like rice and wheat. Fishing is an important source of food and income, and people use the river for transport and trade, like moving goods on boats. Near the delta and the ocean, rivers form fertile deltas for farming, provide water for industries, used for tourism, religious rituals and fishing. So the same river is used in different ways along its journey depending on the landform, population and needs of the people. Next question. Why is the southern part of India referred to as a peninsula or plateau? Peninsula means a piece of land surrounded by water on three sides, and a plateau means a high flat land. So the question wants you to explain why this area is called a peninsula or plateau. The southern part of India is called the Peninsular Plateau because it is a large elevated land higher than the surrounding coastal plains. It is mostly flat on top with some hills and valleys. It is surrounded by the sea on three sides, the Arabian Sea, the Bay of Bengal and the Indian Ocean. It is made up of hard and old rocks which are very stable. So because it is a high flat land projecting into the sea, we call it the Peninsular Plateau of India. Next question. Which UNESCO heritage site mentioned in this chapter did you find more interesting? Write a short paragraph to describe what about it is interesting. UNESCO heritage sites are places that are considered important for the world because of their nature, culture or history. You need to choose one UNESCO heritage site mentioned in this chapter and explain why you found it interesting in your own words. So you can write the answer like, I found the Sundarbans more interesting. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site located in the delta of the Ganga and Brahmaputra rivers and it spreads across India and Bangladesh. It is famous for its mangrove forest which grow where the rivers meet the sea. The Sundarbans are also home to the Royal Bengal tiger and many other unique animals. I find it interesting because it shows how rivers, forest and wildlife exist together in a delicate balance and it is a unique natural area that needs protection. Seventh question. Look at the two maps of India, physical as well as political, given at the end of this book. Identify the place you are at now. Which physical feature of India would you use to describe its location? So you need to look at both the physical and political maps of India and find your current location. Then you need to identify which physical feature it belongs to. For example, whether it is in the plains, plateau, desert, mountains or coastal region. So first identify which place in the political map. Here, like for example, Chennai. Then using the physical map, we find which physical feature it belongs to. Chennai is located along the Bay of Bengal, so it comes under the coastal region. So you can write the answer like, I am located in Chennai. It lies in the coastal plains of India along the Bay of Bengal. Next question. Food preservation techniques differ from place to place across India. They are adapted to local conditions. Do a class project. Gather different methods of preserving food. Hint, drying vegetables when they are in season for use during the off-season. So here you need to do a project on how people preserve food in different parts of India. Food preservation means keeping food safe so that it does not spoil quickly. Different places use different methods depending on their climate and conditions. For example, in some places, vegetables are dried in the sun when they are available so they can be used in the off-season. So collect the examples of different food preservation methods and mention where they are used like state or region and explain why they are used there like climate, weather, etc. You can create a table showing different methods like drying, pickling, salting and sugar preservation like jams. Next question. Despite having such different regions, mountains, deserts, plains, coast, India remains one country. How do you think our geography has helped unite people? So this question is asking you to think about how India remains united even though it has many different physical features like mountains, plains, deserts and coast. You need to explain how these geographical features help connect people instead of dividing them. You can write the answer like, India has many different regions but its geography has helped connect and unite people in several ways. Rivers like the Ganga, Brahmaputra and Godavari connect regions by providing water, fertile land and routes for travel and trade. Plains allows easy settlement, farming and communication between people. Coastal regions promote trade and cultural exchange with other regions and countries. Mountains provide natural protection and also have passes that allow travel and exchange of ideas. People in different regions have adapted to their surroundings but still share common culture, traditions and festivals, creating unity. Thus, despite geographical diversity, India's land has helped people interact, share resources and develop unity in diversity. Now, let's see the answers for the big questions given at the beginning of the chapter. First question, what are some key geographical features of India? Here, identify and list the main physical features of India. There are different types of landforms found in the country such as mountains, plains, deserts, plateaus, coast and islands. So, you need to write what are the major landforms that make up India's geography. Answer, key geographical features of India. Himalayan mountains located in the north. They are high mountains that protect the country and are the source of many rivers. Northern plains, fertile plains formed by rivers like the Ganga, Indus and Brahmaputra, ideal for agriculture and densely populated. Thar Desert, a hot and dry region in the northwest with sand dunes and very little rainfall. Peninsular Plateau, a triangular plateau in central and southern India, rich in minerals and old land formation. Coastal plains, flat lands along the eastern and western coast, important for trade and fishing. Islands, Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep Islands surrounded by water. Next question, how does India's geographical diversity affect our lives? Now, you need to think about how the different physical features of India like mountains, plains, etc. influence our daily life. You need to explain how geography affects things like food, clothing, occupation, lifestyle and culture. So, write how do different landforms and climates change the way people live. So, you can write the answer like India's geographical diversity affects our lives in many ways. Food habits differ from region to region based on climate and crops grown. Clothing varies according to weather conditions. Example, woolen clothes in cold regions and cotton in hot areas. Occupations depend on geography such as farming in plains, fishing in coastal areas and herding in mountains. Housing styles are adapted to local conditions. Example, Katkuni in hilly areas, mud houses in deserts. Lifestyle and culture vary, but people share common traditions and values. Thus, India's geographical diversity influences people's lifestyle, occupations and daily life. So, with this, we have completed the NCERT question answers for the chapter Geographical Diversity of India. I hope you found it easy to understand. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. We will see you again in our next video. Bye bye.